Hello, my name is Paulette Bosley, and this is day 3 of the 30-day challenge. This morning, Miss Sharita Leon spoke about fear, and it's so crazy that she addressed that because last night when I listened to the audio that was sent for our assignment, one of the things that stuck out was when he spoke about fear, and he said that to overcome it, you just have to do it. So I wrote down a couple of things that I'm fearing in each area or why I'm not obtaining certain goals because of the things that I'm fearing. Today on the call, Sharita spoke about how fear is false evidence that appears real. And sometimes we get so caught up in false evidence that we psych ourselves out. Just recently, I feared letting a family member know that I had changed careers because their expectation was so high for me. But when they found out and we were able to sit and talk about it, they completely understood where I stood and understood why I needed to change the career or why I needed a break from the career that I had. So basically, I had a fear of something that I shouldn't have because it was I mean the person was family and she loves me regardless, and I shouldn't have let my fear really take over. Another thing that Miss Sharita said this morning that really caught my attention is being a risk taker. And I remember once upon a time, I used to be able to use that word to describe me. When I was in high school, um, I went to a predominantly white school. It was a private institution, and we had about 5 African Americans in my class. And I was the only one that spoke about going to college outside of Connecticut. Because at the time, my mom was a single mother. She was in the church, so a lot of things she wouldn't let me do. So I felt like I was missing out on something. So I wanted to get as far away from her as possible. So I applied to all out of state HBCUs. And I remember some of the other girls telling me, like, no, just stay home, go to Southern. You probably will be able to get a car if you do this. You'll probably be able to get that. Plus, you're not going to know anybody. You're choosing schools where you won't know anybody. But that was the risk that I was willing to take. And from then on, I just kept taking more risk and more risk, and I enjoyed life. But somewhere down the line, I came back home and I just stopped taking risks. It was like the risk was taking started to have a negative effect instead of a positive effect. Risk being in relationships when people told me not to stick with it, but I decided to stick with it, and then in the end, it ended up failing. So then I felt like I was the failure. Then I started having regrets, and my father's always taught me that you should never have regrets. You should always learn from your mistakes or learn from things that did not go your way. And as much as he told me that, as much as I wanted to grab that and apply it, I just couldn't. And then I stopped taking risks. I stopped doing things to that I thought that would make me happy, and I started being complacent. So this morning when you spoke about being a risk taker, something just like stirred up inside of me like, come on, Paulette, get back to that person where you take risk and you do what's going to make you happy. Because at the end of the day, the only person you have to please besides God is yourself. I can't worry about pleasing everybody else because if I'm no good, how am I going to be good for anyone else? And someone told me that, and I discarded that information at the time because I said, no, they just don't understand. I have to be this person for this one and this person for that one. But when I needed people to be that person, I couldn't find anybody. So I can honestly say during this last year, when I really felt like I hit the bottom, I really seen who was in my corner. I really seen who I could depend on. And ultimately, I was able to really reevaluate me. So I appreciate again being a part of this challenge, and I'm truly growing. And I shared in my summary that one area I'm really working on when it deals with fear is in my relationship. And I've decided to take action. And like the man said on last night, just do it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to put it on the table. I'm going to let them know how I feel. I'm not writing a letter. I'm not texting it. And I'm gonna let it go. Just like I want them to let certain things go, I'm gonna let certain things go because I can't expect somebody to do something I'm not willing to do. So again, today's call, today's audio really blessed me, and it pushed me just to want a little bit more and to do more to be a better Paulette. Thanks again for listening to day 3 of the 30-day challenge. God bless.